Today I would like to share with you all the things I had to clean up in my house, in and around my house, in my life, that was all contributing to me not being well. Things just that made such a big difference in my health, and it's all about cleaning your lifestyle. Number one, I would say, was to clean up our food, and that means all the processed foods that we're eating. The food that we eat is one of the biggest sources of toxins contributing to bad health. So that means reading labels, if you want to go that route, because we're so used to buying things and we don't know just how to make food, from buying fruit and vegetables and seeds and nuts and legumes and grains, and see what's going on. What are you buying? Are you buying food like food, or is it real food? Look at preservatives, colorants, look at additives. Don't be fooled by organic labels, or when it says something is 100%, still read the labels. We want to eat food in its whole food form, exactly like God created for Adam and Eve. That was the best diet that He gave to them. So we want to eat the food unprocessed. And the next question can be, yeah, but the food is not the same quality as in the Garden of Eden, and that is still true, but it is still better than anything else out there. And I still found that I was able to achieve healing with store-bought food. I've got a veggie garden, so I eat some of my own produce, but most of it I still buy either online or from grocery stores, and a lot of them is not organic. I was able, around 10-11 years, there was a lot more available, especially when it comes to grains and seeds and things that is not available now, and I'm still able to maintain my health. It's like very basic, but a lot of people are still drinking tap water. And apart from all the chemicals, what about all the pipes? How old are the pipes? What contamination are there in the pipes? And now that we've been drinking clean water the past 11, 12, 13 years, I won't be able to drink regular tap water because I can actually smell chlorine. Now that I'm healthy and all my senses have changed, I'm not going to go into the science of telling you which filters to buy. I use a distiller, and but in my previous house we actually reverse osmosis system, which gives you very much the same type of water. It's clean water, there's no minerals or anything left in there, but I'm getting a lot of my minerals. Most of my minerals is from the food that I eat, and then also the little bit of salt that I'm also taking in. And then because the distiller only gives me a certain amount of water per session, I have a Berkey filter, and that I use for rinsing vegetables or for making tea when I need to boil some water. So I just think it's not as clean as my distilled water, but it's a good backup. And but there is many filters on the market. You will have to do your research and go to one of these water places and see what is best for you. And the best bet to have control, clean your own water. But for the interest to buy water, there's lots of these stores that actually sells water per liter. And some stores in South Africa, normal grocery stores, you can also take your own container and fill up your water. Just make sure you're constantly very clean, that you don't have a build-up of bacteria in your canisters that you're taking to be refilled. So another big trigger for me was definitely insecticides that I was using in my house. We were, you're always got this fear for spiders, that you're going to die probably of these spiders, and we're poisoning ourselves in the interim. We were renting a house and there was like really a pest with cockroaches, those traps inside the house, and I had a few, and I developed serious headache. And then I made a connection that it was actually these things that I had under my counter where I was working, and so it was definitely one of the first things that we threw out. And why I say throw it out, put it in the bin, don't even have it in your house or in your garage, because someone is going to use it. And one with me is that when I decided not to use anything in the house, backup container in the garage, just for in case there's a very big spider. And then so we weren't using it, but then the lady that cleaned my house, she thought it was a very good idea to spray one of my cupboards on the inside with it, with my plates, because she saw some ants or spider in there. So she went to the garage, got it, sprayed it, and he got that smell. And when I asked her, she said, yeah, but she sprayed the inside of it. So, you know, my philosophy is get it outside of your house and of your garage, throw it away. We haven't been buying that for like 11 years, and you can still see I'm still here, my family's still here, we're still okay. Not one spider killed us. You know, there's a manual way to do it. Slap them or put them outside of the house, depending if you want them or not. So definitely, and it's also going to save you money. Other things that we did is that when we took a sabbatical up in Africa, you know, that's when there's like a lack of knowledge. My husband was spraying our tent with one of these well-known insecticides every night, and apart from also other things that was happening, you know, I actually became very sick on that trip, and I definitely today, although we think it's odor, it doesn't have an odor, you know, that it can't poison us, but it definitely does. It's like I always say, it's not just one thing that you can pinpoint that actually contributes to disease. It's all these small little things that add up like to a big thing, and that's actually increasing our toxicity level, and that's when we are developing symptoms. The other thing that I would want to talk about is the skincare, and that was also for me a big area where I had to do a lot of clean up. And my philosophy now is if I'm not prepared to eat it, I'm not going to put it on my skin. I'm not going to use it, because everything that we put on our skin becomes part of us. So if you're not willing to eat what you put on your skin, don't put it on your skin. A valuable resource that I found was using the ewg.org site, and it's such a wonderful tool. You can build your own report. So you can go onto the internet, you can see what you're using, you can copy and paste the ingredients and put it into ewg.org's build your own report site, and it will give you the risk factor of whatever you're using. And you will be so surprised by so many products that is marketed as even organic and safe and doesn't contain this and this and that, but when you put it in there, it doesn't give you the go ahead to use it. So as I've just said before now, is that you must think about the cumulative effect of everything that you are using. So your skincare, I have so simplified. Initially, you know, when you start a health journey, then you swap whatever you're using for better brands, and I was using expensive stuff, and you know, now today with my regime, so simple, so much cheaper, my skin is actually much better. So the simpler the better, and I'm also willing to eat those products because I make my own skin oils that I mix. In the near future I will definitely show you how I make my skin oil, and I just love it. I've been using it for many years, and I just love it, and I think it's, together with the diet, it's far better than what I used to have. So when it comes to skincare and body products, you've got to think about especially things that you are putting on that's going to stay on. That is for me more important than looking at toothpaste and soap and things. That's not what I'm saying, that those things are not important, but they are very important. But more important is the things that are staying on your skin. But look at everything. Look at the soap that you're using. Look at shampoos, conditioners, even things like nail polish. I wouldn't use things like that. For me, that is unnatural. And also it wouldn't really work with me working in the garden. But other thing that I also had to stop using was hair dyes. Hair dyes can be extremely toxic, and you have to find out, especially when you faced with a disease or health-wise something is going on, you've got to look at all the areas. You can't just ignore it, because it's no use cleaning up, say, one area and you're improving the diet, but now you're still exposing yourself to a lot of toxins via your body, face and skin products, and hair dye is definitely very risky. You've got to look at the ingredients, and for me it was quite a challenge. I'll do another video on that, about going grey. That was quite a big challenge for me. It wasn't the first time that I did it. I started it a couple of years ago, and then I just couldn't get through with it. But I think the big turning point was for me when I started colouring my hair again. After 6th to 7th month, I developed serious pain in my forearms and in my hands, and I knew it was the hair dye that my hairdresser started to use again. So it was easy for me. I got the name of the product, I got the ingredients, I copy and pasted it in EWG, and it showed me that there was a correlation with the pains that I was actually experiencing. So, you know, that's the thing, when you clean up your life, you will experience pain directly from something that you're using, and then when you've cleaned up so much, then it's easy for you to make a connection between what are you doing and what not. So I just decided, I'm now 54, but so I was 52 when I started growing out my hair for the last time. It is not worth it. I know what it feels like to feel fantastic. I know what I felt like in comparison with what I feel like now, and is it worth it for me to put my body at risk just for having a specific color of hair? And then I decided for myself, it's not worth it. I want to grow old, if it's possible, at least the best quality of life that I can. And it's just an awesome feeling if you've had for quite a while not quality of life, and now suddenly you feel so much better, you enjoy life, everything about you have changed. And yeah, I'm just not willing to go back there. So definitely look at those areas. It's really just becoming more simple, and it's not that I'm going to judge anybody that does it, but even for me now, I don't even wear makeup, because I just feel my skin improved so much, and I feel confident now being older than when I was in my 20s or 30s, because then we so worried about such small things that other people can't really see. So now I feel more confident, and my cleaning routine and all those things, it's really simplified, takes much less time, and I can use the time to prepare better food. So the last thing that I want to talk about is cleaning products and things that you use in and around your house that could be and is probably a very big exposure to toxins, and that is your cleaning products. What are you using in your kitchen to wash your dishes? What are you using in your dishwasher? Cleaning your house, cleaning your toilets, your floors, all those things are extremely toxic, and people that use it full time, they develop specific diseases connected to the cleaning products that they use. So today I'm using very natural products. I use a product Triple Orange, and I might maybe change it in the future. I've been using it for a couple of years. I actually dilute it. It's a wonder gel. It smells I want to say delicious, but it smells so nice. It smells like orange. You almost want to eat it, but you shouldn't. And I actually use it to wash my dishes. I use it to wash my floors. I clean my mirrors with it, my bath, my toilet. And if it's really needed, I'll use also bicarb and vinegar in my toilets from time to time. And it's just so simple, because I've got one product and I basically use it for everything. And I use Oxy bleach in my dishwasher. It's also, these products, when you buy it, it looks like it's more expensive, but it's actually less expensive in the long run. So it's given me a huge saving, where I can spend my money now on food. And it's also, you know, I just won't be able to work with things, I can't call the brands, but the normal stuff that you would buy, clean your bath with. I can smell it when I bath in another bath that was clean with it. So I actually smell those things just because I'm not used to it anymore. So definitely that worked for me, was cleaning out all those different bottles that I had, all the bleaches, all the creams and all the different things. And now it's also simple. So everything come back to simple. Your food is simple, your your skincare routine is simple, your cleaning product is simple, because there's such a huge toxicity factor in it, and you will get so many resources on the ewg.org site, and you can build your own reports. Another contaminant in your house could be even the use of plastic, so it's very important. Have a look here at what my space looked like, and I didn't realize I was really losing bits of the plastic in the mixtures that I was making. So now, for instance, as an example, I learned that I mustn't scrape too close to the blade, so I basically just scrape the outside, but I don't try to get some of the stuff that's underneath the blade. This is just an example where we could be poisoning ourselves with toxins, and we don't understand where plastic and microplastics come from, but there's many factors, but we advise or to learn to use glass and to cook in stainless steel. Get rid of all the aluminium pots, also these aluminium braai containers. You know, the South Africans, they love their braais. And the foils, I don't use foil for cooking. I don't use cling wrap or saran wrap as it's known in other countries. I don't use that to cover my food. And if I do decide to use it, I would first let the food cool off, and I would put something like parchment paper over it, and then I would close it up with the cling wrap. So those are the things, your cookware, how you store food, and just to reduce your plastics. You don't have to go out and just throw everything away. What I did is as I would replace it. And one thing I found very helpful was using empty honey jars, glass jars, or nut butter jars, up to 500 ml, and you can actually freeze in them and store food, and then you just leave, if you want to freeze about a space of 2 centimeters at the top, you leave open. So yeah, just to be aware of the things that you're using. It's also when we looked at buying an air fryer, the ones that we looked, say about 2 years ago, my husband works with aluminium, so he knows aluminium, is that although the outer part might be a good quality, most of these trays and things that you use inside the buckets especially is made of aluminium, and they've got non-stick coatings. And what is the use of putting out your aluminium cookware, but you're still using an air fryer at a very high heat, which is not healthy for you, and also then still being exposed to the aluminium. Another thing that I've learned and that we found helpful is that we switch our Wi-Fi off at night by the plug, and then in the morning when we start working or we need Wi-Fi, then we switch it on. So that was definitely also something that helped me a lot, and if you would like to know more, please leave a comment. Then I would say one thing that's a very sensitive topic, it was also for me, is when you've got pets in the house. And I was taught by, this was one of the first natural doctors that we saw, and she advised me that every time I touch my dog, I needed to wash my hands. It's not the only place where you can get exposure, that's important to note, but I had to learn every time when I was playing with my dog, before I would do anything else, I would first go and get my hands washed. But that was quite a tricky thing, especially to get all the family members on board, because there's a lot of contamination, especially when it comes to parasites. And you know, when you've got cats walking around in the house, over kitchen counters, and also a lot of the things are just spread by air, so we don't really understand the extent to it. But what we do know is that when people's immune systems are compromised, that definitely does affect them. So we had to make quite big changes around that. And then I also want to talk about the other thing, the last thing that I want to mention is when people are painting their houses, they don't realize the amount of toxins that you are exposed to. And that's like your varnishes, your paints. I can't be in a house that's being painted. If I know someone is painting the house, I won't visit. I would rather meet them somewhere or ask if we can sit outside, because it affects me. Even before I had a health crisis, I was me and my husband we just nearly got married. We were painting the house, varnishing, and I was varnishing some windows outside, and I developed the most serious headaches. I've also been an artist for a couple of years, for about 10 years, and even the paints that I worked with, even although I started using environmentally friendly paints and safe paints, which they mixed for me. There was times, about 2-3 times, that I still developed serious headache, and I knew it was because the paint was faulty. So even if I was buying environmentally friendly, safe paint, the best quality I could buy, it was still affecting me. So I would take it back, and then there was a problem with the batch. An interesting story I want to tell you, the one time I actually take the paint back because I was confident in the paint that I was using, and I was painting these big paintings, so you're exposed to a lot of paint, although all the doors and everything was open. I developed serious headache, but I wasn't making the connection with the paint because I was using environmentally safe paint. So when my husband got home that evening, I said to him about the headaches, and I don't understand. So he said, but what about the paint? So I went to the paint, opened it, and it had a very strong smell, although the paint was still a fresh tub of paint. He took it back, and the day that I was in the paint shop, and I was communicating this now to the salesperson, a paint contractor that was next to me, he said it's interesting now for him because he was repainting people's house, and all the family members developed a headache, and they said, yeah, but it must be the paint. And he said, no, but it can't be the paint because it's this environmentally safe paint. So then I said to him, it's definitely the paint. So even things can go wrong, even with the better products that we buy. So the long and the short is that I also decided to close that chapter, because what is the use of living healthy and putting all the effort in, and I've still got this one entry point of toxins coming into us, and I definitely wouldn't have achieved the level of health today if I only focused on cleaning up the diet and not looking at all the other things that's going on in and around my house. So remember to like and comment, and if there's something specific that you would like to know more about, or you've got questions about, please feel free to leave comments below, and please like and subscribe, and watch out for my next video next week, where I will be sharing all the things that I've actually learned how to improve my life. Have a wonderful day.